All righty. So as folks come in, I'll just do a quick agenda review. As folks continue to trickle in, please continue to wish everybody a happy new year in the chat. I love to see it. So again, for first timers, if this is your first time joining us this evening, please let us know in the chat. We love to when new people show up, and we want to say welcome. So please utilize that chat. Let us know if this is your first time here. But for our agenda, we will start off as always with a grounding. Around 6:35, I'll pass it over to Okha for our grounding exercise. And then we will move forward with some organizational updates, our committee updates, some interesting news. And then we'll move on to the main bulk of our program. We've got a really exciting program planned for y'all this evening. So I'll explain a little bit about what that is in a minute. And then we'll close. And so that'll be our meeting this evening. Again, our main program, the bulk of the program will consist of a couple of breakout sessions. One is going to be sort of goal setting and sharing goals and intentions for 2023 around our advocacy and the work that we all do. And then another breakout room, super excited. You'll get to hear from one of the team members from our podcast, Abolition is for Everybody, to hear a season 2 wrap up and just get to, talk shop a little bit and maybe hear some interesting things about recording, putting the podcast together, challenges, successes, all that good stuff. So excited for that. But yeah, that'll be our program this evening. And I'm excited. I'm excited for 2023. This is our first meeting of the year. And I just can't wait for you all to see what we have in store this year. It's going to be really, really exciting. All righty. So we have a couple more folks trickling in. I see so much love in the chat, welcoming folks. Yes, welcome, welcome. We love to see it. Oh, I see somebody from Texas. So welcome, Sarah from Texas. Welcome, Sharon. It's good to see so many of y'all. Thank y'all for choosing to spend your Wednesday evenings with us at Initiate Justice. We really appreciate it. We love to see all of you. And we love to be in space. You're our community. We are our community. We just love to be in space with one another. So that's what this is really all about. And continuing work to bring our folks home. So with that being said, it is 6:35. So for the sake of time, we're going to go ahead and get started. So again, just want to housekeeping. We are recording. So for folks that are just joining or for folks that are new, we usually record these so that we can upload them to our YouTube page so that our community who are unable to make it tonight or have to leave early for whatever reason are still able to catch up on all of the updates and all the wonderful things that we are going to be having this evening. And then I always forget to introduce myself because I assume that everybody knows who I am. But just again, my name is Adrianna Griffith. So I am the statewide advocacy manager here at Initiate Justice. I've been with the organization since October, but I've been an outside organizer with Initiate Justice since 2019. I graduated from the Oakland cohort from the Institute of Impacted Leaders. So I'm really excited to start the year off with y'all. I'm going to pass it over to Okha, and she is going to lead us in a grounding. And this is just something that we do for folks that are new to sort of just ground and center ourselves. Sometimes we go all day, we work all day, and sometimes we forget to stop, pause, take a break, take a breath. And so that's what this time is for. So I'll pass it over to you, Okha, for the grounding, and please feel free to go off camera if that feels comfortable for you. Take it away, Okha.
Thank you, Adrianna. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, beautiful folks. Yeah, feel free to turn your camera off or keep it on, whatever you're feeling. And we're going to take a couple minutes to just connect within. So if you'd like, you can close your eyes. I have a drum here I'm going to play. So maybe your eyes are closed or gaze down towards your nose or in front of you. And begin to soften the eyes, the face, and grounding your tailbone down and feeling the surface below you, feeling the support below you. Maybe it's a chair or the floor or a driver's seat if you're in the car. And begin to feel that you are supported. And begin to notice the sounds around you. Maybe the sounds from afar or nearby, or the sounds of my voice. Maybe even any rain. And I invite you to let the rain in. We're going to do a body scan, starting from the crown of our head, the top of the head, coming down the face, down the jaw, shoulders, down the frontal body, behind the heart, down the hands, down the hips. And you feel this energy moving down the legs, the knees, the shins, maybe the heels and the toes. And begin to soften the body. Deep, loving breath into the nose or the mouth, filling up the belly. An audible exhale out, letting go of anything that doesn't serve you. Deep, loving breath in, slowing down the nervous system on your exhale. Feeling this sense of calmness coming in. Deep, loving breath in. Feeling the warm air leaving the nose. And I invite you to let in love and light and compassion on every inhale. And on every exhale, let go of worry and doubt and fear, and maybe even unhealthy ego. Breathing in love, space, compassion, healthy boundaries. And breathing out fear, doubt, worry. Breathing in love, compassion, and freedom. Breathing out any worry, letting go. Breathing in and out, knowing and feeling that you are this powerful being. You are light, you are love, you are compassion. And you are joy. You are needed in this world. Every single cell in your body that's moving in you is needed. Being in deep gratitude for community, in deep gratitude for yourself, for doing everything that you have, for being everything that you are. You are deeply loved, needed, and radiant. If your eyes are closed, stay here for as long as you need. Or you can gently open them. Maybe you place your hand over your heart, over your belly, over your body. Give yourself a hug. And begin to make any organic movements. Maybe the shoulders come up to the ears. Opening up the shoulders, this beautiful space. Maybe that they go the other direction. Or maybe your hands come out and they kind of just reach like a star. Maybe the hips go in a circle and the head goes in a circle, moving the energy in the throat. Maybe the mouth opens and closes. And your hands, give yourself a little massage. And just putting the energy of love in the hands and just thank you. Thank you for being open and willing. My name is Okha, and I am in deep gratitude to be here with you tonight. Peace.
Thank you, Okha, so much for that. I think I always just come back from those groundings just a little bit more centered, a little bit more like, okay, ready to go. So thank you for that. And I definitely invite you to come back on camera when you feel ready, when you feel led to. Definitely feel free to stay in that space and come back when you're ready. Thank you, Okha, for that. So to keep us flowing and moving along, next we are going to get into some organizational updates. And if you see me looking off to the sides, because I have a couple of screens going on, so I have y'all right here and I have my agenda right here. First off, just wanting to thank everyone for their patience, and their gratitude and just all of that as we were on break for 2 weeks at the end of 2022, and we're just getting back to work this week. It's our second day in the office. So just thank you for your patience with us as we work to respond to any emails or miscommunications or phone calls or anything like that from folks that we may have missed over these last 2 weeks and couple days. So, but thank you for your patience as always. And we will respond to folks as soon as possible as we work through each email. Also, just wanting to drop in the chat for a minute. Usually in the past, we have gotten certain information from y'all as it relates to like your state representative, so your assembly member and your state senator. And so we want to, with it being the beginning of the year, folks may have moved. We do know that we just went through a lot of redistricting. And so you might be in a new district legislatively and things like that. So we want to ask if you would be gracious enough to update that information for us. So I am going to I can't drop a link in the chat because that's on a completely different computer. Michelle, thank you so much. So we're going to drop a link in the chat right now. And so it is a link to our Airtable form, and you will simply just fill out that information, and that will help us to stay in tune with who your legislators are, who your state representatives are, so that way, as we are going through the year, working on bills and developing calls of action and things like that, we know who to tap if you're in a specific district or things like that. So definitely please fill that out when you are able to. So I would suggest like clicking the link and just have it be opened on a separate tab. And then you can either do it now, or you can go back to it after the meeting, whichever is more convenient and easier for you to do. And then next announcement, just want to briefly announce, because we will be making, is this for all members or only new? Okha, that is going to be for all members. So thank you for that question. So yeah, if you are new to the space, you can definitely still fill the information out. So at least it's captured and we have it. But that is for all folks that are here today. And again, it's just for us to know like who your state representatives are and things of that nature. And then again, so moving forward, so it is a new year. And I know there's this saying like new year, new me, and things like that, but it's a new year. It's still the same old IJ, but we're making a little bit of change. We're progressing, we're moving along as we grow, right? We're 6 years old and we continue to grow each year. And so that requires us to pivot, make changes, and sort of keep things along. And so one of the changes that we have made this year is we'll be doing shorter meetings for our member meetings. And so typically, for those of you who might be new, our member meetings are 2 hours in the evening, or they have been. So they typically last from 6:30 in the evening to 8:30 in the evening. And you all are troopers because y'all be staying all the way up until 8:30, even with it being a weekday. And most of everybody having, 9-to-5 jobs and things of that nature. So y'all have been troopers in that. We are going to be shortening those meetings by about 30 minutes. And so now in 2023, our member meetings will be from 6:30 in the evening to 8:00 p.m. And we'll be wrapping up everything at 8. And so that gives you 30 minutes of your evening back to be able to rest up, visit with loved ones, take care of you, do whatever you have to do to prepare for Thursday. So we hope that you enjoy having 30 minutes back of your evening. Not that we don't want to be in space with y'all all the time, all day long, because we very much do. We love everybody. But we just really wanted to make sure that things are intentional and that we are being considerate of y'all's time and things like that. So we want our meetings to be productive, effective, but we don't want folks to be tired and things like that the next day and stuff like that. We want y'all to be energized. And then the other sort of caveat, or the other change that we are also making similarly, is we are going to be changing on restructuring our committee structure and our membership structure. And so don't panic. Official announcements will be made next month in February's member meeting, so definitely do attend. Nobody's losing anything. So I just want to make that abundantly clear that the only reason, one of the main reasons why this is happening is because we really just want to make sure that folks coming home and are recently released have an easier way to become members of Initiate Justice. And so we will officially announce what those changes will look like next month's meeting, along with what our committee changes will look like. I have a couple of more announcements as it relates to committees, but I'll get to that in just a second. But just know that there will be a nice announcement coming next month about all of the new changes that are happening internally at Initiate Justice. We're really excited about it. We think it's going to be really, really great for y'all as members, as organizers, and all of the above. So we look forward to announcing that to y'all next month. Tune in and make sure you do not miss a thing. The other announcement is Abolition is for Everybody podcast. So season 3 is coming. It will officially launch on January 10th. So I want to say that's next week sometime. And I believe it launches at 7 a.m., right, Michelle? Yes, so 7 a.m. where all your podcasts are available. I listen to it on Spotify, but I know it's available on all platforms. So mark it on your calendars. Be the first to listen to episode 1 of season 3. It's going to be really, really exciting. And then the next announcement that we have is IJ is hosting a in-person community gathering In Los Angeles, Saturday, January, almost said July, Saturday, January 21st. It will be in LA. It's save the date right now. We're still finalizing all of the wonderful details, but it is something that we are committed to doing. So it will be in person in LA on the 21st. So again, mark your calendars, save the date. More announcements will be coming out. We do have a tiny URL link where you can register for the event right now. So that way you're already like committed to that and you can get a calendar invite from that. So I would suggest also doing that as well. But again, more details on the actual event as far as like the program and the agenda and the different activities and things like that will be announced as we move forward in the next couple of weeks. So just stay tuned to emails, social media, website, all of that stuff, because it will be coming. Excuse me. All right, final announcement. Well, not the final announcement, but another announcement. Our Institute of Impacted Leaders is coming back for the 2023 year. And for the spring 2023 session, we will be headed to, drum roll, Riverside and San Bernardino area. So we will be in San Bernardino and Riverside counties for the spring Institute of Impacted Leaders of 2023. So I'm super excited to go down there and sort of bring Institute to that community. I know it's something that other organizers and even some of our members have said that, hey, we need a cohort down here. So we heard y'all, we listened, and we are on the way. So all of that is being planned. Applications for Institute of Impacted Leaders, Riverside, San Bernardino area will be opened officially on January 23rd. So if you are interested to get notified for when applications go live, go ahead and sign on to that tiny URL link that we just dropped in the chat. So that way, once applications go live, you'll get notified so you can apply. If you have any questions about Institute of Impacted Leaders, you can email me at Adrianna@initiatejustice.org, and I'd be happy to answer any questions about Institute, what it is. I know we have a couple of new folks here. So Institute of Impacted Leaders is a 12-week cohort educational program that we do for folks specifically impacted by incarceration. And so if you've been formerly incarcerated or you have a loved one inside currently that you have supported or are supporting, that cohort is for you. That program is for you. And so it's a 12-week cohort all about legislative advocacy, learning about abolition and abolitionist policies with the ultimate goal of ending mass incarceration and bringing our loved ones home. And so 12 weeks and folks learn how to do it. As I said at the beginning, I went through Institute of Impacted Leaders in 2019. It's such a dope program. So if you're interested, you haven't been through it, and you are impacted by incarceration, definitely sign that interest form so that we can get you an application when those go live. And again, any other questions, definitely feel free to email me. I'm happy to chat. And then one more thing, Thursday evenings will be when Institute will take place. So it'll be Thursday evenings from about 6:30 to 9 p.m. And so that is usually the time frame. So that will be the same time frame this year as it was last year. So hope to see y'all there if you haven't gone through Institute already. And so that kind of does it for our organizational updates. I want to pause. I've said a lot. Are there any questions? I know that folks are asking questions and things like that in the chat, and staff is great at catching those things. So thank y'all. But are there any like burning questions that you just want to like say out loud at this point before I move on? I want to make sure I give space. Seeing none, we'll move on. All right, thanks y'all, appreciate that. So next, just some committee updates. So we won't be having any official committee updates this month. Committees did not meet last month with it being the end of the year. And this month committees are paused or meeting on an as needed basis, just again, because it is the beginning of the year. This also includes our Mindful Monday spaces, which we will not be hosting this year. unfortunately, as our team works to find new ways to bring us all together in community. So one of the things that we are also really committed to doing here at Initiate Justice is figuring out a way to bring all of us together a lot more often so that we can be a lot more empowered and really just be in community and space with one another. And so that will also be a change that you will see in 2023. But again, we are committed to bringing us together as a community so that we can be in community together, heal together in whatever way that looks like to us individually. So that is another update. So no committee meetings this month. If for some reason there is a committee meeting that will be happening this month, there will be an email sent to those folks that have signed on to those committees. But as of right now, all of those are paused. And then just to keep along with the committee update. So as I mentioned earlier, we are really looking at restructuring not only just our membership structure and how we engage with folks outside, but also our committee structure. And so that is something that we are also committed to revamping our committee structure this year to make it easier to engage with the work that we do throughout the year. So really this is a benefit for all of y'all. So that we can be really intentional about the things that we're doing this year, the action steps that we're taking, the calls to action, and just all of the work that we're doing. And so we really want it to be meaningful. We want it to be intentional. And so again, we will officially be announcing what that will look like next month at our February monthly meeting. So definitely register for that. Do not miss out. It's going to be really exciting stuff. But that is some other change that you will see coming. So again, committees will be changing. We'll still be doing the same work. So I really want that to be reiterated, and I want to amplify that. We'll still be doing the exact same work within the committees that we're restructuring. It'll just look a little bit differently. So again, not really too much of an impact. It'll just look different. Are there any questions on that so far? Again, there'll be more to come on that next month, but if there's any questions around that right now. And thank you, Okha, for dropping the information about the Heart Center. Definitely highly recommend folks check that out as sort of like an alternative in the meantime. Awesome. I don't see any questions around that, but if you have any questions or questions pop up later on, definitely reach out. You can reach out to me or you can reach out to your committee leads or anything like that if you have specific questions on what's happening in January. So moving on, we are going to move on and transition into the main portion of our program. And so, as I said earlier at the beginning of the evening, similar to what y'all did last year, what we did last year, for those that maybe are unfamiliar and weren't in attendance, last year, January's member meeting, we did sort of like a mixer where we had various breakout rooms and folks got to talk to staff from various different departments and things of that nature. So this year, we're still doing breakout rooms, but we're doing them a little differently. So we'll have 2 breakout rooms for folks, and you get to choose which breakout room you go to. But our first breakout room is going to be called Advocacy in 2023. And so the purpose of this breakout room is to really come together and share your goals, ambitions, and your hopes for advocacy, your specific advocacy in 2023. So if there's something that you want to do or accomplish, that would be the room that you would go to share that in. I will be facilitating that room, and we're just going to be sharing. We're just going to be talking about it. So if you were at our December member meeting and we shared out in the big room about like our accomplishments and our wins for the year, it's going to be a similar format, except it'll be, instead of our wins for the year, it's going to be our goals and our hopes for the year. And so some examples of things to share could be like, maybe you want to visit the Capitol in Sacramento. Maybe that's something you haven't done before and that's something you really want to do. Maybe it is to join the Institute of Impacted Leaders, right? And so that is something that you can do this year and share if that's something that you would like to do. Maybe your advocacy goals is to speak in support or opposition of a bill, join a coalition, apply for a fellowship. write a letter of support for a loved one inside or outside who's maybe going for getting off parole early or something of that nature. So it could be anything, big or small, but it's really specific to you, your specific advocacy goals, what you would desire, what you're hoping to do in 2023 with your specific advocacy and your leadership in your communities. And our second breakout room is going to be our podcast breakout room. So you will get to hear from the lovely Michelle. She will be hosting that breakout room. And it's really just a recap of like season 2, how it went, what were, wins and challenges, things that they learned. And maybe there will be a sneak peek of season 3. Maybe. I don't know what Michelle has in store for y'all. But some really, really exciting breakout rooms. We hope to see y'all in one or the other, both. We'll be opening the breakout rooms and we'll be in these breakout rooms for about 30, 45 minutes or so. So a good amount of time, and we'll bring folks back maybe about, we're a little ahead of schedule. So we'll bring folks back around maybe 7:45, 7:50, or yeah, 7:45, 7:40, 7:45 around there. And then we'll do like a group share out. And it won't necessarily be like what you discussed in the breakout rooms, but it'll simply be, we want to hear from everybody. What are you excited to accomplish in 2023? Or what are you excited to see IJ accomplish in 2023? And so those are going to be the breakout rooms. As I said, we'll bring folks back to the bigger room around 7:40, 7:45, and we'll spend the last maybe 15 minutes. We'll do just a quick check-in of that last check-in question, and then we'll close. So we'll just bubble up again those events that will be happening, and then we'll move forward, and then that will be the evening. Right, so we've got about an hour left with each other. About 30, 40 minutes of that will be in breakout rooms and things like that. So are there any questions about breakout rooms or anything like that before I open things up? Not seeing any in the chat. Awesome. So I'm going to open up these breakout rooms. You all will get to choose which room you go to, but I hope to see you in mine. I think we are all back. I don't see anybody in breakout rooms. So yeah, I think we are all back. Some folks may have had to check out early. That's totally fine. So we will move forward. It's 7:43. So that way, to make sure that we end on time, I just want to hear, like, for the podcast room, or for anybody that wants to share, how was that for you? Just being able to share space with a smaller, intimate group, and whether you were sharing goals, or whether you were hearing about the podcast and talking about that. Feel free to drop reflections in the chat, but also feel free to come off mute. We'll start the close at around 7:50 or so. So we've got about 8 minutes or so for folks to share just like how that went. For me, it was super inspiring. I'm inspired. That's all I gotta say. I'm inspired. I'm ready to go. But how was it for y'all, for everybody else?
The toughest part was picking a room.
That's always the hardest part. I swear, there's always, like, anytime I go to a convention or something and they're like, we got breakout rooms, I'm like, I know there's going to be 3 that I want to do, and I know I can't do them all. So yeah, but hopefully the room that you chose worked out and was amazing, and your cup was filled. Anybody else want to share reflections or thoughts? I see blessed, awesome, extremely comfortable and safe. I love that. I love it when our spaces are comfortable. I love them even more when they're safe. I love a safe space. So thank you for that. Very much needed. I love that. I love it. So much good things. I love it. Again, I was inspired. I was leading the advocacy in 2023 group. And so just to sort of hear and share with everybody, like, goals and ambitions and things for 2023 and why they're so important and why they're meaningful for folks, it's just really inspiring for me. So I'm excited to see what folks do in 2023 and how they grow. And I'm also excited to see maybe somebody in Institute. So I'm excited for that. Michelle, how was it in your group? How was that?
I am going to be completely honest and say that at first I was a little bit nervous. I had no idea what folks were going to ask me. So I was like, oh my God, what if I can't answer their question? But like Rio said, it was completely comfortable and safe, and nobody grilled me with questions that I couldn't answer. And of course, like I love the podcast, so it was awesome. But I think the biggest thing was just hearing what folks were curious about. I don't think I like ever really had an idea like what folks wanted to know. So that was nice. And I also got a few ideas for like mini-sodes and future episode ideas. So that's always super fun. But it was a little bit scary at first, but it ended up working out and it was super fun after that.
I love it. I love it. I can kind of relate, not for the breakout room situation, but I'm always like nervous before I hop on to facilitate one of these things, even though I've been in member meetings like 12 million times. But I'm always a little bit nervous, and then I get like comfortable and it's a safe space. So thanks for sharing that. And thank y'all that participated, and thank y'all that were gracious and kind to Michelle and not grilling her with questions she can't answer. So none of you are paparazzi, so I feel comfortable and safe enough to say that. But thank y'all so much for that. Please continue to drop reflections in the chat if you feel led to, just about the experience that y'all had with your perspective rooms. Really appreciate and really love seeing all of it. And I also save the chat and things like that, so we'll be able to kind of go back and capture things if somebody missed anything, or if there was a link or anything like that, or somebody dropped an email or whatnot, we can be able to make sure that folks have that. So if that is nothing else, if nobody is feeling led to share any more reflections or anything. Oh, I see you, Nancy, go ahead.
Hi, I see some familiar faces. I graduated from the cohort from Sacramento and back in 2020. I haven't really been an active member for like, I don't know, like a year and a half, maybe going on 2 years. Just a lot of the stuff happening on my end. But I want to be back. Like I keep getting the emails, but I just kind of, I don't know, my husband is just on a whole other level, like very discouraging. So I just kind of feel like, what am I doing this for? You know, if it wasn't for him. But honestly, just coming back, like I don't know, like I think I was going to Instagram something, and I saw like, oh, there's a meeting today. I'm like, well, I'm not doing anything, so let me see. So I joined, and I almost forgot about it, and like the feeling like of just hearing everybody sharing stories, seeing like Yolanda, you know, like familiar faces that I remember, is like, oh my God, like I needed this so much. Like I don't even know how to explain, like, this is what I wanted to do. This is what I want to continue to do, regardless of whatever my husband wants to say. Like, I know that what I'm doing, I mean, other than just helping him, like I could make a change. Like my voice matters and my voice counts, and he's not going to shut me up or nobody else. Like I really needed to this. So I'm glad to be back, and hopefully I can get back on my feet and become like an active member again and start getting involved.
Yes, I love that. Well, welcome back to the space, Nancy, for sure. And for you as well as anybody else, we're here when you need to be here. We are totally understanding that, you know, life happens and it happens without our permission. And so we need to take care of ourselves, and whatever that looks like. And maybe that looks like stepping back for a little bit to focus on other things. Because sometimes we can be at max capacity, right? And so it's totally fine to rearrange so that you can be, you know, fully invested into what you want to fully invest in. So thank you so much, Nancy, for sharing that. Welcome back to the space. We hope to see more of you for sure. And yeah, let us know how we can support you and coming back or attending meetings and things like that. Like I said, next month when we make all of our bigger announcements, there'll be lots of stuff for you to plug into and things like that. And hopefully it'll be a little bit easier for you to do so as well. So that being said, it is 7:50, so I'm going to take us into our close. Again, really appreciate everybody who participated in a breakout room, who shared, and who inspired, who helped to heal, offered a kind word, whatever it was. Really, really appreciate you all. And I hope you have a fabulous, fabulous January, and a fabulous 2023. You're all very blessed. So just to move forward and to wrap us up for a final announcement. So we did have something that was on our website calendar for tomorrow. Originally, we did have the Inside Organizing Committee scheduled to meet tomorrow. It was on the website. It has since been removed from the website. That meeting is now also canceled. So no Inside Organizing Committee meeting tomorrow. And so again, committees will start back up February, and we will be coming with all of the announcements at February's member meeting, with information about how to get plugged into committees, and things of that nature. So I just want to make that real quick announcement. So just in case anybody did register for that, you can go ahead and just delete it off your calendar, because it won't be happening. And no worries, Jane, thank you. And we'll see you next time. And then just a final reminder for the save the date for the community event that will be happening Saturday, January 21st. Again, it'll be at the Yoga Tree Co-op in Los Angeles from 4 to 6 p.m. More information will be coming in the next couple of weeks, so please pay attention. We'll send out emails, but we'll also have it on social medias and things of that nature, so just keep paying attention. If you have any questions about that, you can reach out to me. And then we don't have a member of the month for January, but we will see you in February again, with new and exciting things about how to spotlight and highlight members and organizers who are doing amazing things in their communities. And then last but not least, the next member meeting will be on Wednesday, February 1st, 2023, 6:30 p.m. Definitely RSVP for that. We'll drop the tiny URL link in the chat, but register for that so it's already on your calendar. But if you're unable to or don't have the time or whatever to do that this evening, it is on our calendar on the website. So you can always refer to the calendar as well for all of the events and registration links and things of that nature. And that is all I have. It is 7:52. So if nobody has any questions or anything like that, I do not mind giving y'all back 8 minutes, 8 minutes of your evening.
I have
Go
something.
ahead.
I'm sorry, super quick. We recently changed tiny URL links for the member meeting. I will plug the correct one in the chat, tinyurl.com/IJ meeting for you all to RSVP. I know it's confusing, before it was IJ monthly. So I dropped a new link just so you all know. We'll be reminding you all, but it's in the chat. Sorry, Adrianna, just wanted to give everybody that heads up.
No worries. Thank you for that. Because I know sometimes we just autopilot and go to IJ monthly. So yeah, tinyurl.com/IJ meeting. But again, if you're like, wait, what? That's confusing. Just go to our website in the calendar and it will be right there and you'll be able to register straight from the website. So again, it was a pleasure to see everyone. I'm going to stop recording